or staying. I appreciate it. What I'll go through is my best memory of what occurred over the decades. Either what I experienced or what others told me. And if you folks have better information, please share, because it's been a long time and some of the stuff might be a little fuzzy for me, but if you could bring us back in, that'd be good. I'm gonna work west to east. So let's start about as far west as we can get. What currently is Flaherty's was par 3. It was a place where you get some drinks. They also had kitchen in the back. You could get food. It was owned by a couple who lived in Fairport, whose name I can't remember, but I've tried the last few days and come up blank on that one. I know they had a daughter because the daughter would babysit my younger sister from time to time, so.
Wasn't the Natalies, was it? The Natalies? Natalies?
Nah, I don't know. I don't have real memory of that, so you could be right, and I really wouldn't know.
Jim, there used to be a trailer park out there too.
Well, yep, that's next on the list. Yep, because where Lowe's is, that was a trailer park. It was a really large one, and it was well kept, as I recall. I used to ride my bicycle up there to visit a friend, and in summertime I'd have shorts on, and when you went underneath power lines, I got shocks from the hair on my legs from the frame of the bicycle.
Oh, jeez.
So that was one of the reasons that were given by the state why it took them so long to turn that light on. It's now there right by the Lowe's entrance. That was flashing yellow for so long because they were concerned about electrical shocks, but somehow that resolved itself. But that brought back memories when I heard that, so. We'll go the corner of 31 and Wayneport Road. On the southwest corner is a trailer park now, and that was a trailer park back in the 60s. I won't go any further than the 60s because I was pretty young. I was born in 1951, so most of my experiences would be in the 60s, and probably the second half would be clearer than the first half. But yeah, that trailer park has always been there. Across the road is the Red Barn. It's a used vehicle place now. It existed, but I don't remember any real activity going on there. So if we jump across the road where the mobile gas station is, that was Zurich's. Their house was there and the convenience store that they had. They also had 2 gas pumps, and across the road from that, we come back where the parts store is, the motel, hotel, and then the chicken place. That was Wayneville Motel. That was there for years. They had a pool. Also to the east of the motel, or about where the chicken place is, that was their new house was built in the late 60s. Before I get away from Wayneport Road, I'd like to have a chat about the snowstorm in 1966. I lived in the house that is now right behind the Parks Place. There on Wayneport Road is a ranch style home. in that snowstorm, I had to crawl out a window, because both doors were locked in with snow. I was able to get the front door in just a few hours, because the wind blew most of that stuff away, but the back door took me 3 days, because you could walk up the drift right onto the roof. So that took me a while. Also on Wayport Road, there was a lady who went into labor, so the village and town highway departments had to dig their way all the way up to Wayport Road and down South Wayport Road to get the lady to try to get her to the hospital. And what I heard was that she refused to go in the ambulance, so her husband had to get the car out and take her in that. And that's hearsay. It may have come from my parents. I don't know where that was, but I remember there was a lot of equipment moving a lot of snow. So on Wayport Road also, on the west side of the road, there's a whole lot of new houses in there. None of them existed from, there's a driveway that goes down to
Tractor Supply.
the tractor place, and if you go further south to what was the old trolley track, which also was a driveway back into, there was an animal shelter back in there. There were no houses there. Those all appeared after 1970, so. Where the Sycamore golf course is now, that was actually Marvin's golf course. And back in the 60s, before that was built, that was all just field that folks would go pheasant hunting in. So that's come a long way from just being an open field. And it's my understanding that Mr. Marvin and Tony Mangiamelli, who had the farm restaurant at that time, had a bet on who could build the golf course. And Mr. Mangiamelli had a disadvantage because the land that he had was actually a floodplain. So he put in a few holes and it just didn't work out. So Mr. Marvin won that bet, but I have no idea what was at stake on the bet, but that's what that's a story I heard from
I had a call from somebody in the last couple of years saying, was there a golf course at the old farm? And I'm like, no.
yeah, there was a few holes, and yeah, middle of summer you could probably play those couple holes, but not in the spring because it didn't work out well. So let's move further east into 31 in Wilson Road. There was a small gas station there, Wilcox gas station. No, it was a convenience store. There were no pumps. There were no pumps there. So, and if you go straight across the road from there, now you have the small plaza and Goodwill. None of that was there. The Sampson family had their farm that was there.
Jeff, did your relatives were in that trailer? Across from Wilcox?
In the White House. The White House and the trailer was my grandparents' house.
Oh, Landry's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Larry and I were friends.
Yeah.
He still lives in Macedon somewhere.
Yeah. My mother's Judy.
Ah, okay. Ah.
And what group were they in? What was the name of their group? They played here?
The Landry Family Band.
Landry Family Band.
Yeah, there we are. I kind of bypassed Walmart. That was not there, obviously. That was just fields and whatnot. Let's go to hooligans, which is, was Turkey Town. And it was interesting because they had peacocks in the back. You would think they would have had turkeys back there, but they had peacocks back in there. And the state police would set up roadblocks there to check your registration and insurance and whatnot. That would happen from time to time. Matter of fact, an interesting story was I foolishly had a motorcycle when I was in high school, and well, I didn't like the exhaust system, so I put a straight piece of copper pipe on the header, so it was a little loud. So one June day, I went to school, took some tests, and got a ticket. And I said, well, I probably ought to go the back way home, so I went the back way home, put the muffler on, and came back to Palmer on 31 and went through the state thing, but I was covered because I had the exhaust system on.
I worked at Turkey Town when I was 12, bussing tables.
Me
I went
too.
I went to,
When I was 14.
oh yeah,
Bus tables,
yeah,
for the Romeos.
yep, Romeo, I know. Mary Romeo, she was a tough cookie. You stand there and she'd come over and she'd whack you and tell you to get to work. But I was sitting in the, I was waiting for my mom to come and get me, so I was sitting in the bar in one of the booths. And a person walked up behind me and said, I'm from ABC. And I said, great for you, I'm from XYZ. Mary Romeo came in, hauled me into the kitchen and said, how dare you say that to the Alcoholic Beverage Commission?
Oh, God.
Too bad, so sad.
My mother worked there when she was, I don't know, like 16 or something like that too.
Thing I remember, they always let their dogs in the kitchen.
Yes, yes, it was.
Their big black dogs were
Yeah.
always in the kitchen.
I didn't eat there.
I didn't eat there after I worked there.
If I can go back to the White House there though, just because this is being recorded, that used to be schoolhouse number 4, for the Macedon. So I just thought I'd put that.
Oh,
bit
very
in
good.
there for the recording.
Well, that's why I'm glad we get to have this conversation back and forth, because I only know so much, and there's so much knowledge in this room that we need to share as much as we can.
Where was the White House located?
Well, Wilson and 31,
Still there.
kind of across from
It's got a
Walmart.
trailer right next to it. They had the Minion Rocks not that long
Oh.
ago.
And that trailer has a basement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they manually dug the basement, put planks across it the long way, and used like an old Buick or something and backed the mobile home across it. And they actually made it a double wide, and I look like a freak in my family pictures because I'm so much taller than everyone else. And on the part that they built, they were all considerably shorter. The part that they built, added on, is almost exactly 6 feet tall. Because I go in there and it like moves my hair when I'm walking across in there.
I'd like to back up to Wilson Road. You mentioned the convenience store right there in the corner.
Yep.
Is that called Walt's Place?
Walt Wilcox.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
That was on the corner there across the street from the White House.
Yep.
And who was Walt Wilcox? An old farmer or just a guy that was?
I know he had some connection to the Powers,
I was just saying,
who lived
Powers family,
two
yeah.
doors down. I'm not sure exactly what that connection was, but they were related to them in some way.
Yeah, I talked to Powers,
Sandy, Robin, Cheryl, Lisa.
Lisa Powers.
There,
Sure did.
there was a midful of
And I
them.
remember her telling me about that, I think it was her grandfather probably.
Okay.
That was there. Can I add just one extra thing?
Please.
About that area? You mentioned the Sampson house. Again, the historian got a call from this lady in Webster. She's asking if I knew where this house was, and she was describing it. And I was able to go back and find some newspaper clippings. I found the house. it was behind where Goodwill is, or kinda right in that same area where the Goodwill is, but it had a big fire in it. And so there was a big newspaper article about the house and losing the house to fire.
Wow.
So Sue Sampson was Admiral Sampson's granddaughter.
What was that?
Okay, yeah.
Sue Sampson,
Oh, yes, okay.
who was one of those Sampsons, was Admiral Sampson's granddaughter.
As in like Sampson State Park?
Yeah, and the park and
Oh,
Elmira.
the guns in the Palmyra Park are from his ship.
I think yesterday was his birthday.
Yeah, yesterday or today.
Elmira had a historic Elmira had an article on their Facebook page about Sampson. There yesterday. Need a map.
Well, very good. If we go to the corner of 31 and Canandaigua Road, on the southeast corner, is a dental, establishment. In the 60s, that was just a regular house, and the bus used to stop and pick up, a lady who, a kid that went to school there, so that area changed a little bit.
I think it had a bunch of chimneys or something, I thought it was,
Chimney's Corner.
yeah, Chimney's Corner.
And across the street, where the Lario and McDonald's is, that was Sherburne Ford.
Yes.
And, there was one in Palmyra also. The one in Macedon stored most of the cars because, the one in Palmyra is pretty much landlocked, so, and at that time, Ford had a punt, pass, and kick competition that was nationwide. And, when I was 13, I went there and I came in second place for my age group. So,
Didn't that dealership turn into, was it Bob Benoski or something like that?
yeah, I
In
believe so.
Macedon, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, where Van Bortles is now, that was McClaw Chevrolet. That change wasn't all that long ago that happened. And that would be the west building, the older building. The new building, was Delizer's. And that was a place we get drinks, and they had real good food.
They had a gas station too, somewhere in there too. The Lizers had a gas station. Or there was a gas station there,
Okay.
somewhere.
I have no memory of that, but, good, that's good information.
No, it was, and then it turned into Gitanos for a while.
Yeah,
Gitanos.
yep.
Mecklenburg have any ideas about that property? Is that Mecklenburg?
I don't think so.
What's that?
Nothing, if the Beckenbachs had something to do with that property.
No, I thought that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall. Well, right in this area right here is now the town hall, but back in the day, it was the spook house in the village. Because if you walk along the sidewalk, they had big metal gates and they had shrubbery, so you really couldn't see the house, but you could always hear the dogs barking. So that, we were all kind of a little spooked whenever we walked by here, because it was the haunted house in town. As far as the school goes, I only have memory of the 3-story building. I'm not sure that the 1-story was built back in the 60s. To the west of that 3-story building was a bus garage, and west of that was the Little League baseball fields. So,
Do you remember that?
I do.
You think so?
And, one of my fond memories from high school was my sixth grade teacher who was sitting in the room, let me raise the flag. And it was Mr. Pagano did that, so. It's something I always remembered, and I took a deep honor in that. Now I did, my father told me that the old folks in town never really did not want to centralize with Palmyra. Obviously it happened, but, he said there was a number of the old fellas who, didn't want any part of that. And that happened around 50 or 51 when that, centralization happened.
We still get grumbling about the colors of Palmac.
Well, yeah.
The old Massillon uniform, band uniforms are at the Massillon Academy, if you'd like to see them.
Yeah.
They're green.
Yeah, they're green.
Great, yeah. So actually apparently what history says, or came through the grapevine, is the colors for Palmyra were red and white. The colors for Massillon was green and white. So they took the white from Massillon and the red from Palmyra.
Yeah. Not only did they get top billing, but they got the colors too. We have among us, gentlemen who in high school, in shop class, built a bulldozer. Didn't you, Brad?
You built a bulldozer?
Yeah, I made candlesticks for
Yeah.
you, and he made a bulldozer for heaven's sakes.
You were able to light the way.
Jim, were those aluminum that we turned on the lathe?
Yep, yep. Okay, so let's work on downtown a little bit, and again, I'll take any help I can get with this. We'll start on the south side, across from what Chapman's, new building is, or relatively new. That was Kelly's drugstore. You used to go up, you had to walk up a few steps, go in there, and it wasn't one of these where you got bread and milk and all this stuff, it was strictly RXs. And going east, next to that would be the post office. And then we have the fire hall, which, hopefully someday will be renovated and our ambulance group will be moved down there, because right now they're up at Wayport Road. It makes sense to more centrally locate, that group. The preferred way to get north is 350, because all you have to cross is a spur line and not a regular, railroad track. So there's much less traffic on the spur line to get, over to the north side, so, that'll make things better for the people of Massillon, so. So we'll go from the, what was firehouse, we'll go to the bank, which at one time, was Village Hall, but when it was the bank, that was the draw for downtown. I remember waiting in line on a Friday night to cash my check, and then you had all kinds of options, to where to spend that money. Building east of that is now all apartments, but I believe that was a barber shop.
Yep, Frantangelo.
Yep.
And also, Jan was in there also. And then she moved across the street.
Yep, yep.
Yep, I think he's coming to that. Taylor's gas station,
Yep.
he's coming there.
Next was the laundromat. That was there, that's now the pizza joint,
Oh.
yeah. And again, there was a gas station there, which is long gone now.
When they were doing the village was doing the sidewalks or sewer or something there, and they had to stop because there were 4 gas tanks
Oh,
buried,
yeah, bad takes, yeah.
buried under there.
There was a car wash in there at one time too.
Yep, car wash.
Ah. So next to that was,
Is that the place that used to be called Payfan?
Yes.
yes, next to that was Brown's Restaurant. That was right next to Clark's Grill, which is now going to be a coffee something or another, but you had Clark's Grill, then you had Brown's Restaurant, and the reason I remember that is Kathy Brown and I were chumming around together, and we'd be in the restaurants, and she had brothers, and her brothers would start, would play a song, Mrs. Brown, you got a lovely daughter, but they would reject it right in the middle of the song. So. And then next to that would be the Clark's Grill, which is gonna be the.
Coffee shop.
And then, the hardware store, I have little memory of that. I know later on it was a paint place, but I don't think I ever went in there, so I don't have much memory of what was in that building
Yeah, I
in
went
the
in there a few
sixties.
times with my grandfather, it's a hardware store.
Okay.
There's an old fashioned.
Yeah. And then it was North Star Electric.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we're gonna come back north to, the American Legion. That was Gravino, grocery store, that was the second one. The first one was further east, and it moved up there. I remember speaking to one of the, Gravino boys, and his dad says the downfall of downtown was when the bank moved out and went down to the plaza, because that took all the people away. Now, direct deposit was eventually going to have the same effect, but this made it even sooner to, have that loss in.
And then the next coffin nail was when the post office moved out.
Yep, yep. And where Books Etc. is, I believe it was a liquor store.
Weeks liquor store.
Okay, yep.
That's it.
My
Guys, you
bus-
know everything.
My bus driver worked in that liquor store, and I can't remember his name.
Was it Weeks? Weeks?
I don't remember, no, I can't remember the name
Oh.
of my bus driver, but he did work in that liquor store.
Not Crowley, not Crowley.
At
Weeks.
least one of the people out there.
Was a bus driver? Was a bus driver, yeah.
Huh, interesting. Next to that was, Marv Miner's, soda shop.
What was it before his miners?
That I don't know.
Royals.
What was it?
Royals.
Doyle's?
Okay,
Huh.
good.
Was that also a little soda shop?
The same thing, Marv Miner just took it over. That's where I buy my comic books.
And next to that was the, it was a Chrysler dealership that was down there. I don't know what came in after that, but,
I think it was actually Dodge.
okay.
It was Dodge, yeah.
Yeah, Dodge.
That was a Doyle too, wasn't it?
I don't know, I don't remember that.
I think so. Yeah. Doyle Dodge.
So the next building east of that, I think that was a barber shop also, but I'm really not sure about what was in there at that time. That would be just this side of the old Masonic Hall, so I don't have a clear memory of that, so
And in the seventies, my parents had a real estate office in there. That was short-lived, but
Okay.
they had a real estate office in that space.
So, the Masonic Building, at one time was a police station. And again, it was the first Gravino market. I don't know when they moved up to, the Legion Hall or not. And then next to that was, Knights Inn. Then across the street, I believe, that was Tommy Maxwell's gas station? Okay.
Tommy Maxwell?
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Wasn't that where the little trolley park is?
No, it was on the other side.
Oh, okay.
It's where they sell used vehicles in there
Okay.
now. So,
It is Tommy's building, when he was in, the building still exists there, was Tommy's gas station, and that is replacement for the older one. I'm not sure Tommy had it back then, but I think he did, when he made, changed the old one to the current one.
and then we'll come back to the Center Street Church. In the sixties, that was Town Hall. And I've often wondered if the town has ever used their own land to have their town hall, or if they've always used, land in the village, so.
Only when the place burned, when the town hall burned.
Yeah.
Then they moved to Wayport Road in one of the, Labco's in there now.
Okay. Well, back then there was no Canada, but because there was so much to do in Macedon, we used to go up and watch the mudsuckers work. What they were doing is building the now ponds that are there, that was all wetland. So they had special equipment that, made those ponds that are up on that golf course, so.
That was my family's farm,
Yep.
and, the mudsucker would come in and they were amazed at the cows that were buried there. Where Gananda is now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where Blue Heron is.
Yeah.
It used to be a swamp,
Yep.
now it's Winwood Lake. And our house that was there, it was a pretty big house. I remember my sister called me when they were doing a controlled burn. And then when the, car wash went in there, we were, my husband and I, we owned the copy shop down in West Wayne Plaza. And the owners came in and said, why did you have 4 water tanks there at the house? And we had 3 wells, and it was like, well, we had a big family and horses and cows and everything.
Well, we'll go to the high school now. We got out of 6th grade and went down there. Middle school is actually the 2-story portion on the north end of the high school. You had 7th and 8th grade, then you got to go on the first floor for 9 through 12. Yep. And part of that is in Macedon. Part of the high school building is in Macedon. There was a proposal years ago by Dr. Ike where they wanted to indicate the line that was where the boundary was. I particularly was against that, so I don't know if they ever went through it, but I saw it as a waste of time because we're supposed to be consolidating, and so why are we doing that? But
What did he wanna do with the boundary?
well, they just want to indicate that, yeah, this is Macedon, this is Palmyra, so.
Didn't they, when they built the new gym up there at the school, they were gonna put a line down the
Yeah,
middle of the
yeah,
gym?
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
To say
They're
this was,
gonna-
this part was in Massett and that part was in
The
Delaware.
green
What we're
on one
supposed to
side,
be
red on the
asking. Hey, no, red and white, we got the white side.
Jim, can we back up just a minute?
Oh, please,
You know where Twisted Rail is?
yep,
There was a small building next to that. Is that the building that you were referring to? Because that was the dentist office.
Yeah.
It was Miller's. Dr.
Yes,
Miller was
yep.
the dentist.
Yep. And now it's a barber, now it's a barber shop, yeah.
Okay.
Before that, it was there was a war memorial there.
Yeah. Big huge sign.
Like a 3-panel sign, probably 12, each panel was probably 12, 18 feet. And that was where the memorial was before they built the Veterans Memorial down by the canal.
What year was that?
I don't know the year, I'd have to dig it out.
Yeah, way back.
Where was it? Right where that little.
Green.
It's not. Yeah,
Better than,
I got pictures of it.
yeah.
yeah, I've no real memory of that building, so
I don't know what year.
that's probably why I skipped over it, so.
You just used my dentist, that's how I remember.
Ah, okay.
Also in the area where the, I believe it's that trolley park is, didn't that used to be Erie Street
Yep.
that went
Right.
Yep.
through there?
Oh, sure, yeah, you're absolutely right, before they put in a new one, so.
And when you were speaking of Knight's Inn, before that it was the Town Tavern.
Okay,
Town Tavern, yeah.
okay, down tavern.
We moved out here in '85, when Erie Street, the old Erie Street was there, and my husband worked in the city. And he came home one day, and Erie Street was closed, and he didn't know how to get home. And I didn't have a phone. We didn't have cell phones back then, and he didn't show up for like an hour later. And finally came in, and I said, "Where have you been?" He goes, "Why didn't you call me about the bridge being out?" I said, "What bridge?" He ended up driving because we brought the kids out one time to check out where the school was and everything. And he remembered how to get all the way around, but he had to come from Palmyra to do it. So, yeah, it was interesting.
Where the trolley park is now, that Erie Street used to go through there. There was a gas station along the front.
Yeah.
And behind that was Massett Mill. Do you have any recollection of that mill?
Nope,
I've got some
Sorry.
postcards to show that.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, I don't remember the buildings were all, but I grew up. Postcard to show that.
Yes.
You remember that?
well, that's all I have on the old stuff. Just a brief discussion about the village dissolution. There were 4 leaders of one Macedon, and on the 3rd try, they got enough votes to dissolve the village. I was not a member of one Macedon, however, I was in favor of dissolution for 2 reasons. I had a problem with a layer of government for only 1,500 people to start with. And the town and the village were suing each other, and nobody was gonna win that battle. One thing that didn't please me particularly was the fact that the members of one Macedon that were involved, once I turned the keys over to town, they all ran home and locked their doors, never to be seen again, so. But what I've seen out of this town government, makes me very happy. There's a strong, not only public surveys, public safety. They're very, supportive of public safety. That's why you have your own police department and your own ambulance service. You will not find that. I don't know if there's any place in Wayne County that the town has both those services, so. And that makes their job that much more difficult, because now your pool of employees is much larger than other towns, so. The board and I don't always agree, but, I have much respect for what they've done, for this town, so. And for previous supervisor that's sitting here, so. And that's all I have, folks.
Did you mention Patangelo's, barber shop?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
yeah, that was on the south side,
So,
yeah.
And then I heard that, Elizer's was moved up with axes, because it was way in the back, and they moved it to the front.
Oh, I didn't know that. The Lizers was set back and they brought it up with
Oh.
oxen,
Yep.
up to the, closer to the street.
I have no memory of that, but, wonderful.
No.
We came
This is
back,
why it's so good to get so many folks in.
absolutely.
That,
When we came back, for our trip from Florida, we were in Florida for a year during Carmen's sabbatical. And it was, 1989 or 88, I don't remember which. But we came back and we saw that huge Chapman agency. After all those years, there was just that little building that was a florist shop, a bakery, an insurance company. And all of a sudden we came back, it was a huge building. It was like, wow, that kinda takes away.
Well, Jim, what do you think about the future of the downtown with the projects that are planned?
The New York Forward.
yes, I'm encouraged by the fact that, these projects are gonna go on. I'd like to get the ambulance there as soon as possible, but apparently there's a second grant that they're looking at. It's a brownstone grant because of the fact that, there was oil and gas and whatnot on that floor. They're looking to get this brownstone, grant and then combine that with what they got for the, New York Forward. So, we need an anchor downtown, and I think that will help. That'll bring some activity, more activity downtown, we freshen up downtown. Hopefully we get businesses and keep them there. And that will help revive that.
Where Weeks Liquor Store was, that became Connie Harner's florist shop. She was there for a long time, and then Steve Boutre went in there for, that was Books, Etc. And then, Steve Boutre had a photo shop in there, and then Books, Etc. And then the florist moved down to the corner of Knights.
Yeah,
And-
or Nights In, yeah.
Knights In, yeah, so that was kinda.
Tom Klonick had his law office in that area too. Not for long.
Where was Tom
American-
Connick's office?
No, it was
American
one-
Legion.
American Legion building was Tom
Ah.
Connick's
Yeah,
office.
that was Carino's old, grocery store, the first one.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah.
The old way into town before 350 came down where it does, it used to be further west. I remember the road used to go underneath the railroad tracks. There was one car wide.
Yes.
You had, I think it probably came out on Center Street, probably.
Ah,
But yeah, it was one, the underpass was one car wide.
wow.
I rode my bike through there many times, I had to make sure that there wasn't a car coming.
And where was that?
It was on what is now 350, but it was before 350 came
Yes, yeah, okay.
down to 31 where it does now. I used to think it came, you can still see some of the ruins of like where the bridge was
Yep.
going over the canal. So a little bit further west.
Yep.
Ah,
I remember, where Beckenbaugh's and CT Nails is, there used to be, for years, a rotary gas station.
Yep.
And where Macedon Hills is, before it was Macedon Hills, it was like half that size, and it was a little place called Brambles.
Yep.
And I remember.
There was an ice cream joint in that area someplace.
There was a cowlick,
The
which was
cowlick.
up by,
Yeah.
Pilsner Lane.
Where
Oh, no, this was, I
Toot the
thought,
Sweet,
I thought it was,
Toot the Sweet.
It was
no,
on.
no, it was
Yeah,
right
it was
on
like
31.
It was Colony, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and, Filer's.
This is where the, Weiss Finance
Yep.
office is. now.
Corner of
That's
Victor and
Peach
Canandaigua.
Street.
Yep.
Yeah, and Filer's was, Breed's in Macedon.
And PNC was in that plaza.
I've had arguments about if there's a grocery store there. or not.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
And you guys just answered, and I won.
Well,
There was also hoo-ha's.
Cause there was a
Yes.
Breeds and
Yeah.
Massey and Breeds.
Yep.
I don't know.
The story about that Breed's in Macedon, I had a 67, Firebird, and, Buddy and I had stopped in there for something, and as I was backing out, we were looking at the, young girl cashier, and, apparently I wasn't paying attention, I turned the wheel and caught the front bumper and bent that all up, so I had to go in and find the guy with the truck and tell him I bumped into his, well, what he had was an I-beam for his back bumper, so all he did is scratch the paint a little bit, and I messed up my bumper, but if I'd been paying more attention to what I was doing, that would have happened.
Was Breed's where the Big M used to be? Where was Breed's?
Where
Where
Filer's is.
Filer's is.
Filer's
Oh,
Farmers
you're
Market.
talking Palmyra, right?
No,
Filer's.
right up here.
Is the ATV place.
On the corner.
In the front part of the old PNC Plaza there.
Oh, it was PNC, that's right, it was a PNC.
Yeah.
PNC moved in,
Yeah,
yeah.
years
I
ago
worked
it was a
at the
PNC,
Belmont,
yeah.
big
Yeah.
one down on-
But PNC was in the larger plaza in the back.
Yes.
Yes.
But Green's was up where
Green's
Filer's
was right at Filer's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That turned into a,
Who-
Hoo-ha's.
Yeah, it was
Hoo-ha's, that's
a
right, yeah.
dance club for,
Yeah.
for a short time.
yeah, was there, I remember, and everybody says no, like I said, I moved out here in '85. Wasn't there another, like, little restaurant or something where, okay, so PNC was here, just in the same plaza, but up a little ways, there was another little bar in there that had, country music or something, or
In the Macedon Commons one or West Wing Plaza?
up here.
Up here in
Yeah.
Macedon Commons?
I swear that I went in there with someone, with friends before, it's a little restaurant.
Hmm.
No, this
There was
was
a
right in the
burger.
plaza.
There was a Burger King where.
Yeah, no, I remember the Burger
Yeah.
King, that came in after, but there was a bar or some kind of a restaurant in that area too, where, before Burger King and all the other little places came in. But nobody remembers it? Was it a country?
Yeah, it was a bar,
Wasn't there a
there was a
country
country
western
western
bar
bar.
in there too?
Yeah, they had
Cause I was told, no, it was Hoo-Ha's, I said, no, it was a smaller
Yeah, there
one,
was,
over
there was a
where.
small one there, yep, and
Yeah.
up more upward where the old Rotary gas
And
station
isn't
was.
that what Maston Hills is now?
No.
No, this is,
Separate.
yeah.
What
Yes,
Filer's
there was-
was Hoo-Ha's.
Yes, but
I
then
don't
in the
remember
same,
another one.
Right.
there was
Small.
another little smaller one before Hoo-Ha's came in.
Yep.
And they tore that down, and I think they built in Burger King or whatever it was.
Yeah. The question is, how many bars were there in Massey?
Well, one time we had like 4 pizza joints.
Yeah.
We had,
Tried for that one, I
we
bet.
had Shell's, Fat Boy,
Mark's was there.
Mark's,
there for a while.
and, Cam's, New York, Cam's. That was
Isn't
good.
there a plaza, isn't there a pizza place going on the old flower shop?
Yep.
still
Yep.
in town?
Yep.
They're working on it.
Eventually?
Eventually, yeah.
Caliglio's.
Yeah, Caligula's,
Yes.
they were
And
waiting.
they're supposed to be reviewed. That's what I hear.
Yeah, they didn't make the New York, forward, but they got a separate grant, and they changed their format around a little bit. Instead of having corporate headquarters above, it's gonna be, an apartment now. I think that's how they got the grant, is because of the, living space.
Is that the same thing they're gonna do where Twisted Rail was? Are they gonna have something above that?
I think they're in apartments.
Apartments?
I think they're in apartments above it.
Okay,
With the
I-
hot place underneath?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're more huts.
Anybody remember what was in listed gravel before it was listed gravel?
What's Chinese?
It was a Chinese restaurant, then it was
It
another.
was a
one.
diner before that.
Cousins, it was Cousins.
Yeah.
What's the name of the restaurant?
Cousins.
Oh, before it?
Before, yeah.
Yep.
Chinese was good. Chinese was good.
All right.
All right. Well,
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, I-
Thank you.
thanks for all the help on my fading memory, so.
There's cookies over there on